Hello, welcome to another episode of Adventure Widely.
Today, we want to talk about backpacking with life-threatening allergies, specifically those that require carrying an EpiPen with you. I want to read a little statistic here first, before we get into this. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention reports that the prevalence of food allergies in children increased by 50% between 1997 and 2011. Kylie has a request.
Like and subscribe.
And then between 1997 and 2008, peanut or tree nut allergies appeared to have more than tripled in U.S. children. So allergies are definitely on the rise. And with allergies being on the rise, more than likely you know somebody who has to carry an EpiPen or has used one before. In fact, according to that CDC paper there, 1 in 13 children have some form of a food allergy, not just an intolerance. So, those of you who are familiar with having to carry these also know on the back of this that it says that this has to be stored between 68 and 77 degrees. 68 to 77 is pretty much impossible to maintain for a temperature in the backcountry. I'm not a doctor. Are you a doctor?
No.
Nope. We don't play one here on YouTube either. So this is our disclaimer. This is how we do it. This is not medical advice. Do at your own risk and use your own common sense. So with that said, Kylie, what is this?
This is an insulated pack.
Yep, this insulated pouch, Kylie keeps her EpiPen and her Benadryl in it. So as you know, insulation slows the transfer of heat. One of the ways that we can kind of control that when it's warmer outside is most streams and most lakes where you are hopefully pumping your water from with the water filter are going to be cooler than the air temperature. So that is why we have a camelback right on here, because this insulated pouch fits very nicely under the handle and between the hose of the camelback. And inside the pack, most packs have a hydration sleeve. This is Kylie's pack here. And you can see here there's the hydration hook, and then there's a sleeve right here for the water bladder. The EpiPen kit and the bladder can slide nicely into that location, and being up against the cool water we pumped out of a stream with a water filter helps keep the pack a little bit cooler and helps slow the transfer of heat into this as well. Then at night, the other nice thing is that this pouch, being that it's soft, can get tossed into your sleeping bag, and that can help regulate the temperature inside the bag as well if it's cool outside and not let the EpiPens get too cold. By no means does this keep it between 68 and 77. Thus far for us though, these EpiPens are still clear, and the doctor friends that we have all confirm that if it's clear and it's not discolored, then they're still safe to use. So 68 to 77, yeah, that's ideal. But what works for us, again, disclaimer, not doctors here, this so far worked for us in the backcountry. Second thing that we take with us when we go into the backcountry is a satellite messenger. This happens to be a first-gen Spot device, but any Spot in reach from Garmin or a traditional PLB would be sufficient. A lot of times when you're backpacking, you don't have fast access to cell service. So everybody in the group, especially if it's just me and my daughter, she knows where this is at too in the pack, usually in my hood. And she knows how to operate it in case we had any kind of emergency there where I had a problem or if she had a problem. Alright, so we've covered trying to keep our medicine as temperature regulated as possible in the backcountry. We've covered communication. But what's the most important thing if we have allergies?
To stay away from food we're allergic to.
So with that said, we do due diligence a lot on the labeling and also trial before we take it with us out in the backcountry. I personally don't have any allergies, but even though I don't, my daughter does, other people I've been backpacking with do, so I make sure that I do not bring food for myself that is something that they're allergic to as well, because I don't want any kind of cross-contamination to happen when we're out in the backcountry. Especially when you have medical care and getting out of there really far away, we don't want a chance having something that I enjoy eating that they could be allergic to cause an issue while we're out there. So I just avoid it while I'm backpacking with them as well. So oftentimes we do freeze-dried food, and this is one of my daughter's favorite freeze-dried dinners to eat. Macaroni and cheese by Mountain House. As you can see, she really likes this one. They don't mention anything about tree nuts or other types of allergens on the back of this. They do mention that it contains milk and wheat. So definitely not one for people who are gluten sensitive, but they make no mention of the others. Some manufacturers are silent to that. Other manufacturers are really good about not listening to it. If you are concerned, call them. but my daughter's specific allergy is tree nuts, and she has not had any issues with this at all. The other big thing that we do too is before we take food like this into the backcountry, we make sure that we try something like this at the house first before it goes with us, just to make sure that we're not going to have any kind of reaction when medical care is close by, so that when we have it, when medical care is not close by, lot less likelihood that something's going to go wrong. So that would be her dinner. I don't particularly like to eat mac and cheese all the time. So one of the ones that I found that I eat is from Backpacker Pantry, and this is chana masala. And the only thing this one lists on here is coconut, which is an actual good thing that they list that on here rather than saying tree nut, because a lot of manufacturers will list coconut as a tree nut allergen, even though coconut is not actually a nut. And those that suffer from a tree nut allergy typically are not allergic to coconut. But that's the only one this one says on the back here. This is one that she has been around and exposed to here at home before we go into backcountry, just to make sure, even though she's not eating this one, that this is one that's safe for her to be around as well. So dinner's aside, now we get into some of the snacks. This company here is
delicious.
It is delicious. It is a little expensive, but it is probably one of the most diligent companies that we have found for allergens. So this company makes sure that their facilities that they make this in is free from pretty much every allergen I've ever heard of and then some. So Kylie, would you like to read what this is free from?
Yep. It's free from gluten and wheat, dairy, soy, sulfates, lupin, fish, crustaceans, peanuts, tree nuts, casein, egg, sesame, mustard, saltfish. And that's a lot.
That's a lot of different things that it's free from. But they actually do taste pretty good. So this is one to definitely take a look for if you have any kind of allergen sensitivity or anybody in your group that does. They make several different things. This is one of their breakfast bars. They also have these little chewy snack bars. And some of the ones I don't have with me, they have a granola type bar as well that is a gluten-free oat bar. So we've had all those and we like them all. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite flavor?
Chocolate marshmallow bar.
Yeah, and the chocolate marshmallow is available in a couple different styles of bar as well. It's available as a granola bar, and it's also available, I think, as a breakfast bar too. All right, ready for the next one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Another one that we found here is this Nature's Bakery fig bar. And this is a gluten-free bar. We don't have a gluten sensitivity at all, but we do try to avoid gluten when we can. We do believe it's a little bit healthier. But this bar doesn't have any other allergens listed on it either, and we both enjoy this one quite a bit. Not only in the backcountry, but also as a regular snack around the house. And this is her favorite.
A waffle.
That's one of her favorite ones there. That is by Goo Nutrition. And they have several different flavors. And the neat thing about this waffle, this is the s'mores flavor. But they even show a picture in the back here where you can heat this waffle up by putting it over your morning coffee or your morning tea. And then you have a nice kind of a gooey center to this as well. So this is definitely one of her favorite treats to have in the backcountry.
It's not a treat, it's breakfast.
It's a treat. This is breakfast.
It's breakfast.
So those of you out there with a gluten sensitivity know that regular oatmeal may not be gluten-free just because of the way that they manufacture it and cross-contaminants. So Quaker and a couple other brands have multiple... So Quaker and several other brands now have multiple flavors in a gluten-free variety. So we'll try to pack this if we end up having oatmeal for breakfast. And the last bar that we have here
is a That's It bar, which usually only contains like 2 different kinds of fruit. It's really tasty, compressed into a little box.
So those are all the snacks that we typically bring that we've found so far that are allergen-free.
And tasty.
Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Adventure Widely. Kylie has a request.
Like and subscribe.
We definitely appreciate everyone who subscribes and likes our videos. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. We'll try our best to answer. And because everyone likes to sue everybody anymore, this is how we do it. This is not medical advice. So with that said, I hope everyone has a good day, and please continue adventuring widely.
Bye. Like, ah.
Ah! Ah! Me.
Benedict Cumberbatch ruined a delicate like a...
Dang it, my phone's ringing too. So,
I like
That
how
just screwed all that up. Hi, Grandma. You are on my YouTube channel right now because we are recording and you called.
I just saw you recording.
You did blow our recording. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty great, man.
Well, that's cool because you're gonna be in our bloopers.
Oh, yay! I'm a blooper.
You're on our bloopers.
Wheat, dairy, soy, sulfates, lupin, fish, darn it. I can't pronounce it.
Cut!
What is it?
Crustaceans.
Oh, fish, crustaceans. Darn it. Crustaceans. This is hard. I'm gonna repeat that word in my head until I'm right. Gluten and wheat, dairy, soy, sulfates, lupin, fish, crustaceans, peanuts, tree nuts, casein, egg, sesame, mustard, and shellfish. Sorry.
They're not shellfish either. But
They're shellfish.
But they're also free of shellfish. We've enjoyed them. They actually do taste pretty good for being an odder form of food. More odd form of food.
What if it's an even form? I don't know if I ruined it or whatever, but I would like to be silly in this video.
So